Zühre and Tahir, a tale of eternal love, the stars of destiny. In the heart of Anatolia, where ancient legends and folklore intertwine with the landscape, there lived a young woman named Zühre and a valiant man named Tahir. Their love story, set against the backdrop of societal expectations and family honor, became a timeless legend. This is their tale, a story of love, sacrifice, and the enduring power of destiny. In a small village surrounded by rolling hills and fertile fields, Zühre, the daughter of a wealthy landowner, was known for her beauty and grace. Her name, meaning Venus or morning star, reflected her luminous presence. One evening, during a village festival under a canopy of stars, Zühre's path crossed with Tahir, a brave and noble young man from a modest background. Their first meeting was magical. The sound of traditional Anatolian music filled the air as villagers danced around a bonfire. Zühre's eyes met Tahir's, and an instant connection sparked between them. They danced together, their hearts beating in unison, as if the stars themselves had aligned to bring them together. From that night on, Zühre and Tahir sought every opportunity to see each other. They met secretly by the river, under the shade of ancient trees, sharing dreams and stories. Their love blossomed, deep and true, untainted by the constraints of their world. As their love grew, Zühre and Tahir faced the harsh reality of their circumstances. Zühre's father, a stern and traditional man, had other plans for her. He sought to marry her to a wealthy and influential family to strengthen his own position. Tahir, though noble in spirit, was not considered a suitable match. Despite the looming threat of separation, Zühre and Tahir continued to meet in secret. They carved their initials into a tree by the river, a symbol of their undying love. Tahir would often bring Zühre wildflowers he picked from the fields, and she would sing to him the folk songs of their ancestors. One night, under a sky full of stars, Tahir took Zühre's hands in his and made a solemn vow. "No matter what happens, my love for you will never fade. We are like the stars, forever shining, even if we are apart." Zühre, her eyes filled with tears, replied, "I will wait for you, Tahir, until the end of time. Our love is eternal, and nothing can break it." Their clandestine meetings could not remain hidden forever. Zühre's father discovered their love and was furious. Tahir, determined to fight for their love, sought the help of his friends and family, but the social divide seemed insurmountable. Despite their best efforts, Zühre and Tahir were torn apart. Zühre's father arranged for her to marry a wealthy suitor, while Tahir was banished from the village. Heartbroken but resilient, Tahir vowed to return and claim his love. Separated by distance and circumstance, Zühre and Tahir continued to draw strength from their love. Zühre, imprisoned in her gilded cage, refused to forget Tahir. She would often gaze at the stars, whispering his name to the heavens. Tahir, wandering the rugged Anatolian landscape, never stopped thinking of Zühre. He carried a locket with her portrait, a constant reminder of their bond. Determined to reunite with Zühre, Tahir embarked on a journey filled with trials and tribulations. He faced treacherous mountains, dense forests, and wild rivers, all the while pursued by Zühre's father's men. His resolve never wavered, for he knew that Zühre was his destiny. Zühre, held captive by her father's will, found ways to send messages to Tahir. With the help of her loyal maidservant, she wrote letters filled with love and hope, which were secretly delivered to Tahir. These messages became Tahir's lifeline, fueling his determination to reunite with his beloved. On his journey, Tahir encountered allies who believed in his cause. An old wise man provided him with guidance and a mystical amulet said to protect true love. He also faced adversaries who sought to thwart his quest. Through courage and perseverance, Tahir overcame each obstacle. His heart all as the day of Zühre's forced marriage approached. Tahir formulated a daring plan to rescue her. With the help of his allies and a handful of loyal friends, he planned to infiltrate the heavily guarded estate where Zühre was held. Eyes fixed on Zühre, under the cover of darkness, Tahir and his companions made their way to the estate. The night was tense with anticipation. They moved silently, their hearts pounding with the fear of discovery and the hope of success. Reeking into Zühre's chambers, Tahir found her waiting, a beacon of light amidst the darkness. Their reunion was bittersweet, filled with tears of joy and relief. "I knew you would come," Zühre whispered, clinging to Tahir. "Nothing could keep me from you," Tahir replied, holding her close. Together, they fled into the night, pursued by Zühre's father's guards. Their escape was perilous, but their love gave them strength. They crossed rivers, scaled mountains, and endured hardships, all the while driven by the promise of a future together. After a long and arduous journey, Zühre and Tahir found refuge in a distant village where they were welcomed with open arms. They built a life together, simple but filled with love and happiness. Their bond, tested by trials and tribulations, was stronger than ever. Their story spread far and wide, becoming a legend in its own time. Villagers would often recount the tale of Zühre and Tahir, the lovers who defied fate